Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to show you how, with a light blanch, you can can chicken without it turning into a snow globe. Hang on, we'll show you how we did it. Alright guys, like I said, today we're going to be canning chicken, and it's something we like to have on hand with winter coming up. If you've noticed in some of our videos, we've got a pretty sloped driveway that hard to get out sometimes in the winter, and we live on some country roads that aren't the best tended. So we like to make sure that if we're stuck here in the house that we've got good food to eat, and if the power's out, we've got something that's already cooked. So we like to can up a bunch of chicken before winter gets here, so that's what we're going to be doing today. And if you hang on through the video, we'll show you how to can some no-waste cat food too. So let's get to that footage. We'll see you after. Hey guys, welcome to the calm before the storm. We're getting everything set up, and we're going to be canning up this chicken today, and it's going to be an all hands on deck operation, so we're going to do our best to film as we go along and explain it, but we got to get rolling, so I'll bring you back when we're a little bit further along. Alright guys, I'll kind of give you an idea of what's going on here. Tina's going to break the chicken out of these packs, and she's going to go ahead and trim it up, and we don't want a bunch of fat and stuff in with it. Now you don't have to be super neat when you do your trimming. You can they don't have to be pretty. We're going to be cubing the meat up anyway, so we're going to go ahead and save these scraps. We'll show you what we do with all the scrap meat that we cut off of the chicken breast, but that's a kind of neat thing. And what we'll do is she'll get this trimmed up, and then she'll pass them over to me, and I'll get them cubed up the size we want them for the jars, and then we're going to put them over here in this roaster pan just to keep them together until we can move on to the next step. So we have a lot of chopping to do, and we're going to go ahead and get on that, and we'll bring you back when we're a little bit closer. Alright guys, we'll jump back in here real quick and just give you the end result of 6 large packs of chicken breasts. We got a whole roaster here full of diced up pieces, and I hate to say that we probably got about at least a quarter, if not a third of that in scrap. So we hate to see that, but we're going to put it to good use. We'll show you how. But that's what we got from 6 packs of chicken breasts. So we'll move on to the next step. We'll show you what we're going to do there. Alright guys, we're just getting set up to start working on this next step. But we got our chicken over here, and we're just going to work it like an assembly line around in a circle. But we've got our raw chicken here. We'll take it out of there, and we'll move over to this pan. This pan's got some salt water in it. We put some canning salt in there, and what we're going to do is we're going to boil it just a little bit, and that takes the fat off the outside of the chicken and keeps the snow out of our canning jars. If you've ever canned chicken and ended up with jars that look like a snow globe, this is how you can avoid it. But we're going to go from there. We'll take it over here in the strainer, and from the strainer it'll come over here to the sink for a hot water rinse off. We'll rinse the rest of the snow off the outsides of those pieces of chicken. We'll bring it around here, dump the strainer on the tray, and then we'll start hot packing the jars. So I'll bring you back when we get that process rolling, but it's kind of all hands on deck thing, so we'll just jump back in when we can. Alright guys, we're moving along here. We've done a few batches through the water, and wanted to show you that external fat and stuff by running it through the boiling water, the external fat and stuff that comes off of it. That's snow that doesn't end up in your jars, but we'll go through there and take it over there and put it in the colander, and then we take the colander over here, like I said, and we'll give it a quick hot water rinse and keep it still hot, and then we pack it in the jar. But now we're kind of hot packing it a little bit, but one thing about it is hot packing, when you put stuff in a hot pack jar, You put it in there that way because it's already swollen up from the heat, and that keeps the jars from boiling over and stuff as you're canning and that. But if you pack hot and then let it cool off, if it settles, you're not allowed to do anything. You can't add more, you can't anything. If it shrinks back up, then you have to count on it swelling back up to the size it was when you packed it. So we won't, even though these will cool off, we won't add to them, we won't repack them back down. We packed them hot, that's the size they were when they were hot, and that's the size we want them when they get in the canner and warm back up again. So we'll just leave it at that, and we'll bring you back when we get even closer. All right, guys, we got our first 18 jars packed. That'll be one load. Then we're getting ready to start packing on these other ones, and so you can see the seam coming off there, so you can see we are hot packing them. But we get over here, we got a little bit of chicken left to go. Tina's still running them through the pot. You can see all that snow in there that didn't end up in our canning jars. That's disgusting. I'm glad that's not in the jars.
Yeah, me too.
So, but we're gonna go ahead and keep working on this. We won't have enough to do a second load, but what we're gonna do is or a complete second load. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get this canned up, and then we're gonna show you what we do with those chicken scraps, and we'll probably can that as the first run through the canner, and we'll save these 18 for the second run since we know that's a full run. So we'll do a partial run on what we got, and then we'll make that our first run, and then we'll come back, and you guys probably won't see these 18 just for time's sake, so we can get the video up, but those will just be set aside. We'll do I don't know how many, 8 or 10, and then we'll show you what we're going to do with the scraps here in a minute. All right, guys, we got we got 8 jars. There's one full load, so that's 18 and 8. That's 26 jars of chicken. And now we've got to deal with this scrap chicken. That leaves us 10 extra jars to run a full load in that first load, so we can show you what this comes out like. But what we're going to do is make cat food out of it, and we're just going to make about the equivalent of chicken spam. So we're going to pack this raw chicken into these jars. We're going to leave a little over an inch of head space, but it's just going to be raw chicken. So we'll go ahead and get those packed up, and we're going to include those in the first load so you can see what our finished canned chicken and what our cat food look like when they come out of the first load. And then we'll probably do this second load over here off camera. All right, guys, bring you in here real quick. We got 7 jars of cat food out of the trimmings off of the chicken, and we got these 8 jars back here to go in with them. So we'll have 15 jars in the first load, and the 18 jars we have over here for the second load. But we'll show you what that chicken looks like when it's canned up. Now, technically, there's nothing in there that you can't eat, and anything we wouldn't have fed to the cats, we went ahead and threw out anyway. So in a pinch, we could probably open and eat those, and they got all the fat and probably all the calories out of the chicken in those 7 jars. So if like I said, it makes for really good cat food. It smells wonderful when you open it, and awful tempting to eat. But if you had to, there's 7 more jars of extra food. But if not, we'll just feed it to the cats this winter. If we can't get out, or we can't get to the store, we'll have some backup. All right, guys, we're going to be canning with a light broth, but you guys, it can be canned with water. That's not a problem. Tina's going to go ahead and add half a teaspoon of salt to each one of the pints. But we got our broth going here, and when we get this up to temperature, we'll go ahead and Tina will start canning it. We've added 3 jars from the other batch to make this one a full batch. So we'll do our partial batch, the 15 other jars of chicken, after we do these off camera. But we'll go ahead and run a full batch for you, and we'll show you what it looks like when we get them done. But we'll go ahead and get started on the canning here in just a few minutes. All right, guys, we do so much stuff off camera that we forget to show you what we're doing. But what you see Tina doing there is turning the lids, every other one, a different direction, so that when she puts them over here in her hot water, they won't be tempted to stick to each other. But she flips every other lid. She's done that for years, but she flips every other lid, and then puts them in the water. And that way they're all turned different directions and they're less likely to stick to each other. But if you're doing a bunch and you got a bunch of lids to put in and you don't want them to stick together, there's a little trick we've neglected to show you. It's just one of the things we do that we don't think about. We've canned for so long that we don't think about to mention. So but there's a little trick for you. I'll bring you back when we get started. The broth's almost hot enough to get going. Alright guys, we're going to jump in here. Tina's getting ready to get started canning. But it looks like we're going to do 11 cans of chicken and 7 cans of cat food. So we'll give you a look as she gets going. She'll make sure we get all the air bubbles out of them. But we'll roll through and get these all ready. She'll wipe the rims on them there and put a lid and a ring on them and get them finger tight. No need to crank down on them, but we're just tight as you can go with your fingers, and that's plenty. But give you a look at them. We're running about 1 inch of head space. Whoop. Alrighty, we'll get these loaded up in the canner and we'll bring you back. Alright guys, we're getting ready to can this cat food. We're not adding any extra broth to it, but we got the rest of the cat food sitting over there behind Dina. But she's added a little bit of vinegar to her wiping rag. That'll help cut any grease that was on the rim of the jars. But we're just going to put a lid and a ring on them, and no extra juice. We're going to let them cook right in their own juices. So we'll go ahead and we'll get these added up. We've already got the bottom of the canner full. We'll put the rest of the cat food, we'll fill in the cat food on here, and we'll have a full load and bring you back in just a little bit. Alright, well, we got just a second. I'm going to show you just a quick look. On the right 3 jars are the cat food, and the left 2 jars are regular canned chicken. So we'll be able to easily tell them apart when we get them out of the canner. But I wanted to show you what that cat food looks like. We got good lighting here, so we'll show you what that looks like in the cans before it cooks, and then I'll show you when it comes back out too. Alright guys, we've had this going for about 90 minutes now, and the pressure stopper, we've shut it off and the pressure's let it cool down and the stopper's down. So we're going to go ahead and take the weight off, then we're going to crack the lid. We're going to leave that for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then we're going to go ahead and get these out, and we'll show you what they look like. Alright guys, we're getting these out of here. The ones up front that you see here, these are the cat food that we can. That's just the scrap from the chicken that we cleaned, and it was canned with no broth. You see some fat layer on the top of it there, and it's still boiling pretty good inside the jars. We'll get you over here and get a look at the chicken. And this is kind of what I was telling you about being able to can your chicken without it looking like a snow globe. There's not a whole bunch of debris and stuff floating around in there. Just some good looking chicken sitting in its own broth, or some broth we made for it, but some good looking stuff. If you follow the directions, you can make it. Kind of ease through here so you can see that there's not a bunch of snow floating around in there. But that's how we do it. I'll be right back to talk to you. We hope you enjoyed it. Alright guys, that's about going to wrap it up for the video tonight. It took a little bit longer than we thought, and it's gotten dark outside. So we're going to shoot indoors, and I'm just going to put my sunglasses on for continuity. So we hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and leave us a comment down below. We read all the comments, so we like to take the channel in the direction you want it to go. So the more you guys comment down there, the more you'll probably like the channel. So we hope you enjoyed it. Again, please give it a thumbs up, leave us a comment down below, and if you like the content here on the channel, we hope you'll subscribe. Down there next to the subscribe button is a bell. If you'll ring that bell, that'll send you a notification whenever we release new videos. But we hope you enjoyed this. We hope you enjoyed the no waste cat food and how to can your chicken without having a bunch of snow floating around in it like a snow globe. But we enjoyed having you guys here at the channel, and we'll catch you in the next one.